We need to accept that we won't always make the right decisions, that we'll screw up royally sometimes, understanding that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of success. The fastest way to break the cycle of perfectionism and become a fearless mother is to give up the idea of doing it perfectly, indeed to embrace uncertainty and imperfection. We take better care of our smartphones than we do of ourselves. The phones are always recharged. There's no love more intense than the love we have for our kids, and where there is intense love, there is also intense fear lurking beneath the surface. I can tell you with authority that when I'm exhausted, when I'm running on empty, I'm the worst version of myself. When we take care of ourselves, we are more effective, we are more creative, and we are more successful in a broad definition of the word. The economic game is not supposed to be rigged like some shady ring toss on a carnival midway. America is a country ready to be taken, in fact, longing to be taken by political leaders ready to restore democracy and trust to the political process. Every launch of a new international edition of HuffPost is an opportunity to revisit our core DNA and remind ourselves who we are as an organization. If you want to have the clarity and steadiness to deal with that 3 a.m. phone call, you should better have made sure that you're not running on empty when that phone rings. The more we refuse to buy into our inner critics, and our external ones too, the easier it will get to have confidence in our choices, and to feel comfortable with who we are, as women and as mothers. I get asked all the time how much sleep I get. That's what happens when you write a book called The Sleep Revolution, travel around the world talking about it, and found a company committed to ending our global burnout crisis. It feels like we have two threads running through our lives, one pulling us into the world to achieve, the other pulling us back to replenish us. These threads can seem at odds, but really, they enforce each other. It's not a trade-off between success and sleep. Women need to lead the way to change our culture of burnout, both for their sake and also for the sake of successful men who desperately need a new model of success. And the still very macho world of STEM is a great place to start. Mainstream media tend to just mouth the conventional wisdom, to see everything through the filter of right and left. I've always been fascinated by dreams, mine are so vivid. I went through a period in my 20s when I wrote down my dreams every morning. Then life intervened, and I stopped doing it. But, in fact, there is nothing that can bring you closer to fearlessness about everything else in the world than being a parent, because everyday fears, like not being approved of, pale by comparison to the fears you have about your children. There's something sacred in all of us that we need to protect, and sleep is a way to connect with it, nourish it, and make it more present in our lives. The middle class is teetering on the brink of collapse just as surely as AIG was in the fall of 2009, only this time, it's not just one giant insurance company, and its banking counterparties, facing disaster, it's tens of millions of hardworking women process stress differently. If we can change the workplace culture to make it more welcoming for women, we're also going to improve behavior, and we're going to improve outcomes.